Hey everybody, welcome to Epic Empire Team Call. Thank you so much for being a part of our Wednesday night team call. We have an amazing guest speaker tonight. First, I want to go over a few announcements. On June 20th, which is Monday, we will be starting a Coaching at a Glance. It's open team-wide, so you can invite your prospects to it who are interested in coaching, and we will post a series of videos for a week that they can watch and kind of find out about what coaching offers and ask questions. Make sure you stay engaged. If you add somebody to it and they ask a question, you're responsible to answer that question. If you see that nobody's answered it, please jump in and help answer. We're all there to help each other out. You might have a different perspective on it as well. Let's see, what else is there? I'm going to try to plan a Country Heat release game plan for you guys on how to approach your potential Country Heat customers. So I'm going to go put together a call for you guys. I might actually just record it and post it so you guys can watch it on your own time and then rewatch it or whatever. But that way you guys have a game plan for a new product release. For new product releases are fantastic for volume, Success Club. Everybody's excited. It's new. There's a lot of hype going on about Country Heat. So super pumped about that. Let's see. All right, Success Club document. Where is it? It's like way down here. That's not good. Okay, hold up. Let me just go to the Files tab because it's really far down for some reason. June Success Club. All right, so we are, what day of the month? Father's Day this weekend, by the way, so make sure you get your Father's Day gifts, right? Today is the 13th. No, that's July. Today's not the 13th. Today's the 15th. Today's the 15th. That means we're halfway through the month. That means you should be in Success Club, right? Because we aim to be in Success Club at least halfway through the month, so we don't stress about it. Today, I was at SE0 when I started the day, and I told Nicola, I'm like, I need to get in Success Club before I go out of town. And what are we at, Nicola? SE8, I think?
We are at SE8 right now.
We're SE8, and I was at 0 when I woke up this morning. So I was like, this is not happening. I don't put up with that. Like, I got in my inbox, and I just started plugging away. And I even shared with you guys some conversations that I had with price objections and how I'm able to divert those crazy objections and control the conversation and really be able to win over the challenger to join my challenge group. So if you haven't seen that conversation, it's posted in Epic Empire. All right, on the board, and this is straight from the Epic document, so if it's not correct, it's because you need to update your numbers. Nicole Mikowski at 2 points, Tanisha McAdam at 4 points, Mallory Wortman at 2 points, Amanda C's. These names, I don't even know. Congratulations, everybody. I don't know all these new people, but that is awesome. Amanda C's, 2 points, Afton Rio, 2 points, Annette, 4 points, Tara Conway, 2 points, Sarah Grimm, 3 points, Dina Bauer, 4 points, Jessica Morris, 2 points, Katie Burke, 2 points, Denise Hebert, 2 points, Kelly Slaughter, 2 points, Rebecca Schaefer, 2 points, Leanne Brown, 2 points, Melanie Etheridge, 2 points, Kelly Smith, 4 points, Lisa Crichton, 2 points. And then in Success Club, already for the month of June, we have Kathy Cho at 6 points, Angel Dial at 6 points, and then Carla Perry and myself with 8 points. Now, Carla's on vacation at the beach, so she got hers in and done, so she can go on vacation and enjoy it. So that is our Success Club. Now, we have a really big week next week because Autumn Calabrese is our guest speaker for our team call. Now, I realize that there's only 100 people allowed on a Zoom call, so the only way that I can really manage this is, one, the only way you're going to get the link is if you are technically an active coach. So discount coaches can be on because they can be active. Utilize this to your benefit, I guess you can say, and get your coaches active so they have an opportunity to be on the call. Now, will they guarantee them a spot? No. There's only 100 and there's 800 potential people that could join this call. So it's going to be the first 100 people that jump on. I'm sorry, like there's no way around it. It's going to be recorded. You can still post on social media how excited you are that Autumn Calabrese is on your team call, and grab our picture and post it. But that's the best we can do. So don't be late because you won't get a spot, and don't be disgruntled if you don't get a spot. Okay. I love you guys. It's exciting. Autumn is asking to be on our call. So super, super pumped about that. Bring your questions. Please don't be silent. You can ask questions to her about Country Heat, about the meal plan, whatever you have. And then, of course, Nicola just wrote at the bottom, she's going to be keeping track of the whole active status. So how exciting! We've got Autumn Calabrese on our team call. I think that's awesome. That's just me. Is that just me? I don't know. I think it's awesome. All right. So tonight's call is going to be all things social media, right? That is like the cornerstone of our business. That's the way we are able to communicate to our audience. And if we don't get better at social media, then we're not going to be able to communicate our message, right? So now let me introduce this amazing woman. She is, she was my challenger in my New Year, New You group, right? So in January, she was a challenger. She decided to become a coach towards the end of January, I believe, like January 18th or something like that. She became a coach late in January and had already been posting as a challenger on her social media page, which was the light bulb for Jatana of like, oh my gosh, okay, this girl, not only is she consistent in my challenge group, but she's already posting her cute little selfies on her wall confidently. So I'm like, ding, ding, ding. I want to plant a seed of coaching because I want her on my team to become a coach. So I think I might have planted that seed at some point and said you would make an amazing coach. Ever considered it? I don't know. I'll let her share that. But she became a coach and went diamond the fastest in Epic history. I think it was like 8 weeks, right? You got that right? 8 weeks. She went diamond. She hasn't slowed down from there. She's a 1-star diamond qualifying. She has duplicated herself and Erin McMillan, who is taken off in the business and is diamond as well. So she knows what she's talking about. She's able to communicate her message and her passion on social media, and she has a call prepared for you guys. So I hope you're ready to take notes. She's amazing. She downplays her amazingness, but she really is just one of those like, oh, thank you, God, for sending Afton down from heaven to be my personally sponsored coach. Because I did nothing. Honestly, I feel like I did nothing to raise her up to diamond. So except for just hold her accountable and give her that challenge of like, you think you can go diamond by the time I get back from the cruise? So Afton, I'm going to give you the floor. And I'm super excited to hear your call.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, this is like totally out of my comfort zone, but I love you guys and I'm willing to share what I don't really see as a big deal, but it is what has literally driven every single second of my business. So I was a challenger in January and I did start sharing some of the exact things that were our daily challenges as posts on my wall, and instantly people were like, what are you doing? And so I had 2 people interested in the next group before we'd even finished that group. And so that's how I became a coach. And I just kept on and compounded on that. And so social media for me has not always been the best thing. It's not something that's been positive. A lot of people have this negative feel for social media. There's just so much negativity on there. I used to get wrapped up in every single political debate on Facebook. I had to do a complete overhaul. So this isn't something that has just always been my thing. But at the time that I joined a challenge group, I wasn't just ready to change physically. I was ready to change internally as well. And social media, I cleared out things, and I just started, I decided I wanted to be a light on social media, and I wanted to share the positive changes in my life, and that is what made people want to join me and do what I've been doing. So I made a slideshow, some slides. Like, they're not spectacular, but they help keep me on track because I'm a rambler and I talk a lot. So I'm going to see if I can figure this out. I don't even know. Let's see. Okay. So here we go. Can y'all see that? I can't. Am I supposed to be able to see people?
No, I usually can't see people. I just have to go through the slides.
Oh my gosh, that's really nerve-wracking. I like to like see people's
We
expressions.
can see you though.
Laughing at me.
Nobody's laughing. We love you.
Okay. All right. So I'm completely different from, I can't remember her name, but she was 2 weeks ago, and she was saying how she like meets people in public and everything. Yeah, that's like my worst nightmare. And so that's why I decided that everything I did had to be on social media, and I had to make it work for me, because this was the only way I was going to grow this business. Like, I'm not meeting anybody in a grocery store or in person. Like, if I see you in the store, I'll probably run the other way. Like, that's just, I'm so nervous with one-on-one interactions. Whoops. So my why for my Facebook is it's free. Duh. I mean, everybody has Facebook. So I just decided to make it my business. I'm an introvert, like I was just saying. Like, I am not good at real life conversations. So social media for me gives me a chance to showcase my best self. And that doesn't always mean just the positive things going on in my life. But it gives me a chance to kind of think about what I want to say and put it out there in the right way. As opposed to sometimes when it's one-on-one, you know, I mumble a lot and I stumble over my words, as you guys will see. So social media and Facebook just gives me the opportunity to be my best self. And I'm able to reach so many people. So I'm a stay-at-home mom. I haven't had a job. I used to work for a bank 8 years ago before I had my daughter. We lived in a city that was totally foreign to us. We did not know anybody. We didn't have any connections there. And so we have just recently moved home to my hometown, so that's changed a little bit. But Facebook gives me the chance to reach so many people that I wouldn't otherwise be able to reach. So I'm going to take advantage of that. And also, I think it's interesting too that I can keep putting my story out there and I can keep sharing my journey. And even if they aren't ready to commit to jumping on board with me yet, they can keep watching. And so as long as I'm being consistent, I know that people out there are watching me. And at some point, they're going to be challengers and potentially coaches. And so I like to think of Facebook as my storefront. So if I actually had like a gym or a health food place, what would I want it to look like? Like if you're walking down the street, these are some of the things for me. I would want it to be bright, inviting. I'd want it to be full of positive energy. I'd want it to be clean, fun, energetic, and successful. And that's exactly how I approach my Facebook page. I try to keep my images, I like for things to be pretty. I'm a perfectionist. Sometimes I take a ton of pictures just to get that one right one, but I want whatever I'm putting out there to be attractive to people. I just think that that is what, when you're scrolling through a news feed and you just see this image or this picture or an invite or whatever, you want it to stop people from scrolling. So positive energy, that was another thing, like I was saying. I don't post, I mean, I have my views on everything, but that Facebook just isn't the place for that, for me. I know there's some instances, you know, where you're super, I mean, you have to decide what your thing is. And like I said, politics, for instance, was one of mine. And there is no way I'm going to post political things on Facebook when I'm literally using this as my storefront. Like, it's just, I don't want to turn people away because of that, because I can be friends with people and whatnot that have different views. But I don't want to start debates on my Facebook page. Like, that's just not what it's there for. This clean one of the things that I do is sometimes people tag me and stuff or post on my wall, and like, I love that interaction. But if it doesn't really pertain to, if somebody came to my page for the first time, they were scrolling through something that I would care for them to see, like once a week, I'll go in and I'll actually hide it from my timeline. And so I like to keep the flow of my page. Like, I know what I want it to look like, and I, make sure that that's what it looks like. So anybody new coming to my page, I can kind of control what they're seeing. Fun and energetic. I mean, that speaks for itself. Like, I want people to see what I'm doing, if it's workouts, if it's drinking Shakeology, if it's hanging out with my kids, if it's, whatever it is, like, it's fun and lighthearted. And even, not everything, like I said, is always going to be positive, and I have down days, but I always still try to put a positive spin on that, because that's just kind of what I decided that this was going to be about for me, and that's what I want to share with people. So find what works for you and for your audience. So one of the things that I did as a new coach, and I still do this, and it's another way I use social media, is I watch other teams' calls and I do other research, because there's just not one way to run this business. There is a million ways to run this business. And I am new. And so it's important for me to figure out what works for me and to find my stride and what works for my audience. And so for some people, the selfie thing might not work. People might not interact with you ever about that. They may think that you're crazy and unfriend you or whatever. Selfies work for me. I don't know. I was telling Matt the other day, like, sometimes I get more interactions with selfies or workout selfies than I do pictures of my kids. Like, it just, I don't know why, even though people dog people for putting selfies out all the time, like, it is something that works for me and for my audience. And so it is a way that I use social media to run my business. Like, I don't ever, if I do, it's very rarely do I put a post without some sort of picture of myself, or, usually, yeah, it's myself, because I am running, this is what I do, and this is about me and my journey. So I don't just put words out there. Like, I put words, but then I put like a fun, bright picture, like with my pre-workout, or hanging out with my kids, or at the beach, or, on a date night with my husband, like the other night. So another thing that's really worked for me is videos. And I start to feel like I'm just posting the same thing over and over, but people love, I hear it from them, like, they really like seeing me post my videos. And so that's something that works for me. And so that's what I'm going to post. Memes, quotes. This is something that I try. I don't do it that often, because honestly, it just isn't something that works for me. Like, people don't interact with me on it. So I do it every now and then. It's not something that I do daily or even weekly, but that might be something that works for your audience. Tips, like, I haven't really gotten into this. Same thing with recipes. Like, I do not see myself as being somebody that just knows a lot about one area. Like, this is all still very new to me. I'm not an expert on nutrition, free clean eating groups, or, that stuff freaks me out still. And so right now I'm just putting my journey out there and sharing, because it is so new, and that is what works for me. But you have to find what works for your business. Don't try to copy other people. People would be able to tell if I wasn't being myself. Like, that's one of the things that I think that has worked so well for me, is I'm not afraid to be myself. I am not afraid to talk about, things that I struggle with, or anything that's going on in my life, really. I share it all. And I think that speaks with people. And so if I'm trying to be somebody else, the people who know me or follow me, they're going to be like, wait, what? Like, who is she trying to kid? They're going to know that. So you've got to be yourself, and you've got to figure out what makes people want to interact with you, because it's going to be different for all of us. So tell your story. Like I was just saying, You've got to be genuine. You've got to share your triumphs, and you've got to tell your struggles. Like, perfection isn't going to motivate anybody. We all struggle. So trying to pretend like you don't is not going to speak to people. And that's what I try to do. I try to, we hear it all the time, talk to yourself, talk to who you were whenever you signed up for your first challenge group. And I literally tell that same story all the time. So if you follow me on Facebook, or if you go and look at my page, these are going to be some things that you see. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm an introvert. I don't get out very much, which is sometimes hard for me because I try not to always post about working out and stuff, but like literally I stay home, I work from home. I still have my son at home. Now my kids are home for summer. Like, we stay home a lot. And, but that's part of my story. And so I share that. I've struggled with anxiety and depression. I've struggled to lose, quote, that last 10 pounds, which is legit. I finally did lose it after 8 years. And I tell that story. Like, I was never overweight. And so I can't talk to people about being, overweight. I can talk to people, though, about losing that last 10 pounds, and that my baby's almost 6 years old and I still hadn't lost that last 10 pounds. And so I literally use that phrase a lot because that's who I am, and those are the people that I can really speak to. I have a family. We are a Disney family, and we live at the beach, and I love wine. Like, I know that's so random, but those are things that I talk about on my wall. That's who I am, and it connects people from social media to who I really am. So, seek inspiration from other coaches, from your challenge groups, from your personal development. And those are obviously just a couple that I use and that I recommend. So for other coaches, this is something that's kind of new and I've shared with my team. But if you're not on the Beachbody Champions page, go join that group tonight, because they are constantly having live 30-minute Q&As with top coaches. And I'm not talking like top 10, because sometimes that's not really relevant to where we are in our business. I know it's not for me. And so those aren't really coaches that I follow for inspiration, because they're at a completely different place in their business. I like hearing from 5-star, 3-star, first-year elite, goals that are very prevalent to where I am in my business. And so Beachbody Champions page, I think it's a group, has these live Q&As. And then I think on Fridays they have a guest speaker on a topic. And, I get so many ideas from these people, and they're coaches that I've never heard of. And so I write their name down, and whenever I'm done, I go and I stalk their Facebook page, and I get ideas. And like, I will literally screenshot. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I didn't think about it. I did it with Carl the other day, CEO. He posted a picture with the Energize, and we're now sponsoring the Ironman competition. And he said, if it's good enough for the Ironman, it's good enough for me. Hello, like, that is so perfect. And so, like, I didn't copy his exact post, but like, we all drink Energize for our workouts. And so that's something that I can make relevant to my story that day, that I'm drinking Energize, and how if an Ironman can drink this and do everything that they do, then I can drink it to get through my 30-minute workout. So I do that, like, with all different kinds of coaches that I follow. We're all doing the same thing, but we all have to make it relevant to our own lives. So that's when I say don't copy, like, nothing verbatim, but it gives you an idea of something that, like, you are dealing with, but you might not have thought, hey, that would make an awesome post, and I can make that completely relevant to my journey and what I'm dealing with right now. And I just save it in my phone as a screenshot. And so whenever I'm needing a post, I'm like, oh yeah, and I go back and I have things in my Facebook scroll that I can go back to. I also keep a list. And this is actually an idea that I got from one of the coaches that did a call recently on Beachbody Champions. And I don't do scheduled posting. Like, I am a fly by the seat of my pants poster. I cannot fake it. Like, what I'm feeling is what I am posting. And it's usually like right at that minute. I think maybe once I've used a picture from like a day before, just because I literally had nothing else to post and I needed to post, but like once. But I do keep a list of post ideas. So if I am struggling with something to post, I can look at my list and be like, I haven't talked about this in a while. Like, I'm going to make a post about it. If I'm feeling down one day and I don't feel like pumping somebody up, but I can go back and look at my list and be like, you know what? Like, I'm really thankful for this opportunity and how, I'm not feeling very good today, but I get to, work from home and I get to check with my amazing challengers, and they really keep me going. And, so that list I refer to frequently, because like I said, I don't schedule posts. So I'm a fly by the seat of my pants poster. So I have to sometimes have lists for days. I mean, obviously not every day we're inspired. Challenge groups. So we all run challenge groups, and we all have a daily task for our challengers. So if you're struggling with something to post, use that post as your post on your wall. That's exactly how I started my business. I think one of my very first posts was the water. One of Jatana's challenges was like, you need to be drinking so much water a day. And I talked about how I buy gallon water jugs, and that's how I keep up with my water for the day. And people in the group were like, oh, that's a good idea. So I shared it publicly, because people that aren't in challenge groups still, want to be inspired. They still want tips and stuff like that. So share it publicly. Use your posts that you're asking your challengers to do for you in your challenge group, make that public. And also personal development. So that's a new thing in my life since I started coaching. I have never read a personal development book before I was a coach, and I like to share that publicly. And I've gotten a lot of, not like necessarily business, but I get messages from people whenever I share posts about personal development. They're like, thank you so much for posting that quote from that book. Like, I'm going to go buy that book. And for me, like, that means a lot, because I know how much personal development has changed my life in just a few months. So I can share that with somebody, like, that works for me. Even if they're not a challenger, even if they're not a coach, I want to be putting something out there that's going to lift somebody up whenever I can. So don't copy, make it your own. We all have our own story to tell, so don't try to tell somebody else's story. Keep a running list of post ideas, screenshots. Oh, this is another thing I do. I follow a lot of authors for personal development and motivational speakers on Instagram. And while they're not the best at social media, they do post a lot of just quotes. And so anytime I see one that I like, I screenshot it. And then I make a cute pic monkey, or what's the new one? Word swag. Kelsey. And, make it my own. And then I have a little folder that I keep with any sort of like motivational quotes. Like I said, it's not something that I share all the time, but whenever I'm just feeling in the mood to share something, and I have something ready to go to put out there. So that's something else that I do. And try new things. I know a lot of us are new, and we're trying to find our way. And that includes trying new things. Like, we have, amazing coaches in our organization that have been doing this. They have found what works for them. They share that with us, and that's awesome if it works for you, but it may not work for you. And we have to know that what works for one person isn't going to work for everybody. And so we have to take the time to learn and grow and figure out what really works for us, and not just because something works for Jatana, expect it to work for you. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to be constantly learning, and you've got to try new things. Like, if you make a post for, a couple weeks and nobody likes it, like, don't do it anymore. Find something else. Just be constantly willing to grow and learn new things and try new things. You never know what's going to work for you. Tackle objections. How do you make it work? So we all get objections: money, time. But I have kids at home, but I have a job. I just can't commit to it right now. And how do you find motivation? Which is my favorite one. And I made a little funny about that today. Like, I've been working on that stuff today. Like, where's my motivational fairy? Like, we all just somehow wake up every day just ready to go work out. So these are perfect posts to make for people to see that are watching you. It might not, necessarily be somebody they're having a one-on-one conversation with, But everybody that's looking at you, following you, they all have these little questions going on in their head. I had my challenge pack sit in my cart for like probably 2 weeks until Jatana was like, the deadline's tomorrow, y'all better order if you want to join. And so I talk about these in my posts, like not all the time, not every single post is like this, but I do try to cover these from time to time. So when I talk about money, I talk about myself and where I was whenever I bought a challenge pack. Here we were about to take a huge pay cut with my husband's job. We were trying to sell our house, so we were going to have 2 house payments. We were moving from one state to the other. We had a lot going on. So did we have extra money to just spend on some, protein shake? No, but I was ready to make the commitment to myself, and my God, I'm glad I did. So I talk about that time and my kids. I talk about how, if I had to load Nolan up and get him ready and get to a gym and get him signed into daycare and then go work out and try to figure out what in the world to do in a gym and then go pick him back up and then go home, like that doesn't work for my life. And so I talk about how I made a post the other day, how I hope that you guys can still hear me.
You're good. We can hear you. We're listening.
I made a post the other day. I literally set a timer. So I'm doing 22-minute hardcore. And I literally set a timer and I did my workout and I got my Shakeology made and drank and I had my bathing suit on and I was at the beach in less than 45 minutes. And I made a post about that because I get time objection a lot. And, so I covered that and I do, I do it from time to time wherever I see that it works for me. I don't have a job. And so that is one that I do struggle with a lot, especially whenever I'm talking to people about coaching. I have not found yet a lot of stay-at-home moms that are ready to take that leap. And so I do have a lot of coaches that have full-time jobs and it's hard for me to, I'm like, let me get you hooked up with Erin. Like, let's do a chat. Because Erin has a full-time job, and Erin went diamond, and she's awesome, and she's killing it. So it's hard for me to talk about that because I am home, and so I can kind of make the time. So, again, you kind of have to work it to what you're dealing with also. Like, you can't fake it. Motivation, like I said, like, there's no motivational fairy that just shows up at my door. Like, I don't want to work out just like anybody else doesn't want to work out, but I know I have to reach my goals. So tackle objections. Connect with people. I was hoping that I was going to come up with another one to fill in the space, but I forgot. So I was actually having a conversation with somebody about this earlier. Like sometimes we get wrapped up in the numbers and the rank and everything, but at the end of the day, it is about connecting with people. And that's what I fell in love with in the beginning so quickly was that I was just talking about myself and my journey and people were like, I want to know what you're doing. And we would talk and we'd have conversations and it might not be the right time for them or they might have been doing something else. And I would follow up with them and just encourage them, whatever they're doing. If they're doing Couch to 5K, I would follow up with them once a week. How's that Couch to 5K going, girl? Like, I just want to know that people are trying, even if it's not with me. And so I think it's important that at the end of the day, yes, we are Beachbody coaches. And yes, we have the best, what I think and we think are the best products and the best workout programs. Other people might not be there yet. And that doesn't mean that we shouldn't build relationships with them and connect with them and encourage them in whatever step of their journey that they're in. So some of the ways that I do that are birthday messages. So instead of just commenting on somebody's wall, I actually send private messages. And this was a tip that I got from some team call that I watched. I don't know if it was one of ours or somebody that I watched on my own. But it just, I mean, most of the time they're just like, thank you, or they don't respond, which is very rare. Usually they do respond. But it was just my birthday and like probably the most people ever wish me happy birthday. And y'all, it feels good, like, right? Like it feels good to know that somebody like clicked on your name and took the time out of their day to, just send you a comment. So I send a message, and it's basic. It has nothing to do with challenge groups or workouts. It's just, I hope you have a fabulous day, or send a picture. Like some people did that. Tiffany did it, where she took a picture of me and her and she put it on my wall. Like I thought that was awesome. So just finding a way to kind of stand out from just the happy birthday, encouragement, even when they say no. So that's how some of my first, even one of my, probably more than one, coaches were doing other things at the time. And that was fine. Like they were trying, and we'd have conversations, and I would check in with them and see how it was going. And I would encourage them in any way that I can. I've had a girl that didn't want to do my challenge group yet. She wasn't ready to commit, but she's like, I've lost such and such amount of weight. And so I try to check in with her, like, how's it going? Are you still working out? Are you still making it to the gym? So it's just, I'm just connecting with her. And like I said, at the end of the day, that's what this is all about for me. Like I want everybody to be trying to be better than they were yesterday. And until they're ready to do what I do and try it my way, then I'm going to encourage them on their way. And that's okay too. Interact on other people's pages. This isn't something that I ever used to do whenever I was just kind of like not like into Facebook really, but it's something that I do now because I like it when people interact on my page. I like to get likes, not that I do it for the likes, but when you put something out there, whether it's your kids or anything that's going on in your life, like you're doing it for a reason. Like you're trying to connect with people. You're proud of it. You're proud of your kid. Like you want people to like that. I know that sounds like really cheesy, but so I try to give that back to people. I love the new where you don't just have to like, you can laugh, or you can be like, wow, or you can love, or be sad. And, I try to be genuine with that. And I also try to comment on things whenever I felt like I don't fake it, but I'm on Facebook a lot. And so I try to, if I see something and I'm genuinely excited or impressed or have a comment, like I try to make sure that I leave that, or I even sometimes send private messages depending on what it is. If it's something that I would rather just be a one-on-one comment or conversation with them, just really trying to I guess build relationships. Like I'm not doing it for not a genuine reason, but it just feels good to connect with people about positive things, not negative. And in the end, I think that the most important thing is to just show up. Like you have to post on social media. If you want to be successful in this business, you have got to tell people your story. You have got to tell people what it is you're doing. They don't know. You might think that they do, but they don't know what you're doing unless you're telling them. And the more that you're doing it, the more that they're seeing it. They're seeing your results. They're seeing positive changes in your life. And eventually we'll be like, you know what? I need to check out what this girl's doing. And be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else because, like I said earlier, people can tell. And so just show up and be yourself. And there was one other thing. See, I tried to do this to keep on track, but how do I get out of this? I just want to talk to y'all.
There's a stop screen share at the top. There you go.
Okay. So one of the things, because I made notes too, but I didn't follow any of them. Let me see. Hang on. Oh, so when I try to get inspiration from other coaches, one thing that I don't do is I don't actually follow a lot of coaches. Like I might have coaches that are friends, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but I started to feel overwhelmed with like my newsfeed being full of Beachbody coaches. And I felt like, golly, we're probably getting on everybody's nerves. And it was hard for me to separate myself and be like, wait, nobody else is friends with them. Like it's just, and so I can't have my newsfeed filled up with Beachbody coaches and their posts. And I start comparing myself like theirs looks really good and mine doesn't. Like, so I don't actually follow a lot of coaches because I don't want my newsfeed filled up. Whenever I am looking for inspiration, if it's one of the Beachbody Champions girls, and I'll go to their page and I'll just kind of scroll through. I don't like spend a crazy amount of time, and I just see how they do things, see if it's something that I think I could implement in my own way, and then I move on. Like I don't actually like want them all in my head all the time, because with my personality, like it will drive me crazy. I like will compare myself, and that is no, I can't do that. And so that's just something I wanted to say when I was talking about finding inspiration from other coaches. And I think that's it.
You did awesome. Good job, girl. If you guys haven't checked out Afton's Facebook page, you should. Don't send her a friend request because that makes no sense. But her Facebook profile is public, like all of yours should be. And follow and see, get some ideas. Like she said, I did it a lot in the beginning. I've kind of got my rhythm now. But in the beginning, it was like, what is so-and-so doing? Oh, that's what a coaching sneak peek post should look like? Okay, I can kind of do that. You know what I mean? Like, get inspiration from other coaches that are similar to you. And I even get inspiration from Afton's posts sometimes. So, I want to open up to questions. If you guys have questions on social media or how to post or how, you know, one of the things that Afton is genius at is not only are her pictures flawless. Like I see sometimes I tell coaches to just do it. Like even if it's not good at first, you get better at it over time. But one of the things that I think Afton can pride herself on is her pictures are strategic and flawless, bright, cheery. Like they make sense. There's sometimes when I see like Shakeology selfies or workout selfies and it's like dark or the window's behind you, so you got backlight, you can't see your face as well. When you're working out and there's a window behind you, it's like, oh, you got like a big sunshine behind you and I can't see you actually moving. But it's got to market itself. It's got to shine on. It's got to be scroll stopping.
You don't think it looks good to you, like it's not going to look good to anybody else. And I'm kind of a perfectionist about that. Like I'm not putting anything out there unless it looks good. Like, and not like I hardly ever have makeup on. So it's not even like getting yourself dolled up and looking like, you know, you're ready to go out. But like you were saying, there is a way to just, it can still look good without, you know, I can still be in sweatpants and no makeup and crazy hair, but it can still look good. Absolutely. So just take pride in what you're putting out there.
Let's talk Afton's page real quick.
And I'm working on a like page. So my page has been kind of crazy right now because I'm trying to put content over there. But, you know.
So example, this is her like really quick little speed through, but it's kind of showing that she's leading, like she's doing something and she's working a business that is growing and happening, and so she's sharing that on social media. She shared that she's able to lead a team call. It was her birthday, so a lot of people told her. As you can see, it's bright, cheery. She's not like all done up like she's about to go on a date night. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for your little like workout ones.
Well, like
her workout videos are adorable. And it's her.
I've been putting all that on my like page. So,
but these, this is iMovie, and you can buy royalty-free music. I do my iMovie straight from my iPhone. Like I literally record it, and I do it right there, and it takes me 5 minutes to make a workout video. And you don't want this is a quick tip, but you don't want a long period of time on one move because that's really boring to watch. Somebody sit there and do push-ups for 1 minute is boring. So you got to change it up. Like you can see here, the moves are changed up. And if you click on it, it's fun music. Here's another one. You know what I mean? So you can kind of see how it is bright and fun and cheery. And she has a theme that's going along with it. So, and also showing results that are coming in. Do you guys have some questions for Afton on social media? You can unmute your line and ask your question.
Afton, I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful that you got on here and did this team call, because I know that our team, you were one that I was like, and Sarah's on here too. Go watch Afton. Go watch Afton. Look, she's killing this thing. I mean, Melinda is on here too. We watched you for so long. So I appreciate you doing a team call for us and then here for Epic. So I appreciate you. My question would be, how often do you post? Do you go by the 3 to 5 times a day rule, or do you post just like something big and let it just sit there and marinate and get a lot of attraction to it? Or because you have a lot of views on your videos too, like you usually break 500 on most of your videos, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just haven't really gotten that strategic with it yet. I would like to have 3 good posts a day. Like that's my goal. I try to space them out like morning, middle of the day, evening. And I always save my videos and my best posts for the evening. I think that's why my videos always get a lot of views, because I do it like in between 7 and 8 o'clock. It's just kind of the time I figured out that a lot of people are sitting down, and usually closer to 8, like dinner's done and they're just scrolling through Facebook. And then the morning is usually kind of like my either personal development or some sort of inspiration or something I'm struggling with. And then middle of the day is like when I'm just like, I'm just going to put some out, because I literally get not that much. I mean, I've heard that stay-at-home moms, the middle of the day is like their time, but it isn't for me. So, you know, I usually just have something to share, but it isn't always like that, because like I said, I don't plan it out because it's just not how I do things yet. I mean, I may get there, but that's just kind of like a generalization of how I post. 3 times a day is what I like to be able to do. Some days, no.
I think it's so ingrained in my mind. I don't know what it is that makes it this way, but I literally wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 8 o'clock. I haven't posted yet. What am I going to post? I'm like looking around, like I got coffee, I'm answering messages. I got to come up with a post because I need something. If your social media gets dry, your audience does not continue to stay attracted to your page. And your page doesn't show up as much in their news feeds. But then like 3 hours ago, I'm like, I don't think I posted in 3 hours. Okay, what am I going to post? I know I'm going to post my workout at 2, but I need to come up with I'm eating a snack. And like, you know what I mean? Like I consciously am constantly thinking, I haven't posted in 3 hours. Something needs to go up. I need to figure out what I'm going to say. And sometimes I have, like Afton said, screenshots of things and ideas when I can't think of anything. I've got a personal development quote that I can toss out there, or personal development quotes are always if you see those, it's because I don't know what to post. And because I love them and I always get good responses and people share them, which is really cool. So it's consciously all day long I'm thinking about my Facebook page. I do not let it go for long periods of time. I try not to, unless it's Saturday and Sunday when really nobody's on social media. So,
but then you can be posting about, you know, what you're doing with your family. That's when like my weekend is like beach and that, and you know, those types of things. Not necessarily, because that's pretty much the only time of the week that I'm not doing beach body stuff. So I have to take advantage of that. So.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about music.
Yeah, the royalty-free music.
So I literally search royalty-free music in iTunes. And it's not always the best. I like have 6 songs that I rotate through, but I've been blocked from Facebook so many times. I'm done trying to find. Some songs don't get blocked. I don't know how they figure that out, but I was blocked for like 5 days, and that was the biggest torture ever for me, to not be able to post a video for 5 days. So I use royalty-free music, and that's what I search in iTunes.
Yeah. I speed my music up to 1 1/4 if you use iMovie. I just bump it up 1 1/4, and that's why it's like, country girl, shake it for me, and it's like really fast. But I think it still looks fun. I don't really, tell me if it's annoying, please.
I honestly don't even like click on people's videos. Like it just shows up in my newsfeed, so I can't hear it anyways. Like I don't even care about the music. Like I just like to watch what they're doing, and so that's why I don't put that much thought into the music, because I doubt that many people are actually clicking on it to make the music play. It's just happening as they're scrolling. So
what else? Questions?
I have a question for Afton. One of the things that you said you tackle on your Facebook page is different objections, and commitment being one of them, because I do get that objection often in my age category is, you know, I would love to do that, but I won't commit to. They'll commit as far as money and that kind of stuff. They won't do it. Right. They're afraid they won't actually do it. and commit to actually doing the program or following the eating plan or drinking the shake and those kinds of things. So how have you approached that?
That is one of the objections I don't get as much. But what I would say is, what made you commit to it? Like, I mean, for me, it was the accountability group, which I talk about as being like my saving grace. That is literally why I'm still, that and coaching. But having that group to check in with and know that everybody else was doing it, I wasn't going to be the one not doing it. But that's my personality. So that's what I would say works for me. And it might not make them feel any better, but that's how I would tackle that objection. So I would say, why are you committed? What made you stay on track still? I don't know how long you've been on it, but something's made you stay. So tell them about it. It's going to be different for everybody.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And y'all should be definitely writing down, have a Post-it note on your computer of the objections you typically get. And Afton listed out a pretty good, solid, well-rounded objection list. And throughout the week, make sure you're addressing those objections on your Facebook page. You don't literally say, guess what, it's worth your money. Like, you don't post that on social media. But there's a way to go about it that addresses the objection. And Bonnie Engle's actually really genius at this, and how to calm those fears. And slowly you'll start to see that when people start talking to you, they're not going through those objections as much because they've been addressed. Or they'll say, I saw you talk about that you're able to squeeze this in and you work a full-time job and you're a Beachbody coach. I'm interested in doing this, and if you can do it, I can. So, but you have to share that you can do it and they can on your Facebook page.
That's what I tell, if you, no, I just lost my train of thought. See?
That's okay.
It was, I don't know, never mind.
Okay. Does anybody else have, it's almost 10 o'clock. So we'll take one last question if anybody has a question.
Somebody asked if I use the group app. No, I don't. I do everything on Facebook. In fact, I thought somebody might ask about other forms of social media, like Instagram and all that. Like, I literally only try to run my business on Facebook. Like, I post on Instagram, but I post about I post about workout stuff every now and then, but not enough to actually like attract it for my business. Like, I get so bombarded with spam on there that I do not do hashtags and all that stuff on Instagram because it just overwhelms me. So I only do Facebook. So,
yeah. I have run my full business for 3 years over my personal Facebook page. If I can go 10-star diamond on a personal Facebook page, I don't run ads. I don't have my like page. I have it. I post on it so that when I'm ready to move over, there's content on there. But all of my business has been built on my personal page and building relationships with people, joining groups, becoming friends with them because we have a mutual something in common, whether we're moms or we live in the same neighborhood or Jeeps. I'm signing my first Jeep girl that I met in a Jeep group. She's signing tonight. She's going to be awesome. She used to be a Les Mills pump person or whatever. But, get in these groups and become friends with people and then start connecting with them just like you do with your current challengers or your current.
But I am trying to do a like page. So like, I am watching, like, I don't know how to do it yet. I haven't done a training yet. I'm just trying to get content over there. I love watching the like people reached and like seeing how many people, and I've gotten like a few likes that I'm not friends with. And like, that's exciting for me. Like, as somebody that doesn't really know that many people, I'm really excited about the potential of that, being able to actually reach people outside of my friends. Like, I haven't had very much luck with, the whole friend request thing. I mean, I still do it, but like 85% of the time they do not accept my friend requests. And I was letting that get me down, but I can't do anything about that. I mean, I can keep trying, but
and I
would rather people that actually want to follow me, like, be able to follow me. You know what I mean? So.
Yep. And that goes to show you that there's not one way to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Grimm is genius on Instagram. Most of her business comes from Instagram. Some people are really amazing at like pages. So don't feel like, this is the way to go about it. But the only reason why I say I've built mine on my personal page is because I don't want you to feel like you got to venture out. It can be done just from your personal page. You just got to be really strategic about it and have it conscious all day long. How can I live my life out loud on social media? And that's what you should be doing. And being an inspiration, being inspiring, like bright, shiny, motivational. Denise, all I want to do is stare at your face. I have people that message me and they're like, I actually go to your page every day to look at it. Like, I actually go to look to see what you're doing. And I'm like, that's really weird. But they do. They're like, what's Jatana up to? I need a smile. Oh, there's her silly video. So be that person to your audience. You know what I mean? All right. It is 10 o'clock. It is bedtime. Everybody go get their beauty rest. I hope you've got your workouts in. Our next time we will see each other, we're going to have Autumn on the call. I'm super pumped about that.
Sorry for the letdown, everybody.
No, you're getting us started.
Awesome.
All right. Good night, guys. Make sure you take a picture if you didn't yet. Turn myself enough.
Oh.
I didn't take one. Good night.